Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday. It is Monday Musings. Okay, yeah, it's Monday Musings. How about that? So, there was one card left from last week, but you per usual on most Fridays when I'm doing the live, I will do a Oracle Friday. So this card got bumped to Monday, and this card is all we need is love. Be the love you want to see in the world. So, you know, that's a huge thing. A lot of people might sit there and roll their eyes, think it's hokey, this, that, or the other. But self-love is the most important love you are ever going to feel in your life. And it's hard to get there if you're having struggles, if you're struggling with trauma, if there's, any type of struggle is going to cause a lot of damage. And it's going to really kind of throw your self-love into a tailspin. So you have to decide. You have to make that choice. It's all in the power of a choice. As baby sibling always says to me, it's all in the power of a choice. You get to make that choice whether you decide to heal or you decide to stay stuck. And while I was thinking about that, I wrote this down because I was thinking about this. And one of the reasons I was thinking about this is because I realized that, sometimes when you see people who, they go through this stuff and you're just like, wow. And you're like, yeah, great. I have this huge support system. But, some of us are meant to do this. When I say alone, I mean without a partner in our life, right? Some of us are meant to go through these things. But other people are fortunate enough to have that person. And, I'm not saying this to shame anybody. I'm not saying this to guilt anybody. I'm saying this because it's really important to understand how much a person who cares about you and is in love with you and sees the person in you wants to help you. And it's also important to realize that, the majority of the people out there who have this are going to try to self-sabotage. They're going to try to find a reason why it's not working. They're going to try to find a reason, no matter how in love they might be with this person also. And so I kind of wanted to speak to that end today, right? Because I'm always talking about the single stuff, but let's talk about the partner stuff. So I wrote this down because, when you are single, you have a very interesting perspective because you get to see from the outside in. Okay, and you get to see with unbiased eyes, usually with unbiased eyes. So I'm just going to read this straight through and then I'll talk about it. So again, these are just my thoughts. Okay, these are just my opinion, and they're kind of a raw opinion because I was literally just journaling this out this morning. So it may not be something you agree with. It may be something that hits you between the eyes, going whoa. But these are my thoughts. Okay. So, what drives me nuts? When people throw away a beautiful chance at love as if true love grows on trees. I mean, if you're not in love, that's obviously different. But if you are, why do you let fear get in the way? Why do you let negative emotions create unnecessary obstacles? Yes, healing is painful. Yes, healing is messy. And some of us have to go through this process without that romantic partner. If someone falls in love with you despite your messiness and then tries to help you through it, that is because they can see the person you cannot, or the person you refuse to see. Accountability is everything. But I get it. Trust isn't easy. And when we're angry, we'll grasp at every straw to hang on to the anger and distrust. And if or when that person takes their broken heart and leaves for their own emotional survival, that messiness will still blame them. That's what lack of accountability does. It will still blame the other person because you can't see, the trauma you cause. You can't see the pain you might cause because you're trying so hard to protect yourself from whatever pain. Maybe it's a fear of abandonment. Maybe it's a fear of thinking you're not good enough. Maybe it's a fear of, I can barely love myself. How can I love someone else? Sometimes people who get these partners in life are the people who struggle with seeing self-love themselves. Some of us have to learn it on our own. For a long time, I was bitter about the fact that I had to do this by myself. And I don't mean by myself, because like I said, I have a wonderful support group, but without that romantic partner, right? Without that person that just gives you that hug. I mean, it's been so long since I've had one of those. I'll probably cry if it ever happens again when you find that person. My cousins are convinced I will, but anyway, so that's a story for another day. But they're there because you need that extra push. You need that extra help. You need that person to really kind of hold on to you and to hold your light for you and to hold your space for you while you try to figure out where you fit in this world, while you try to figure out your healing and all the messiness that comes with it. And the messiness and the healing isn't meant to shame anybody, okay? These are the lessons I had to learn. I have been there. I have done that. I didn't push people away that, I wasn't in love while I was healing. But I was learning the self-love for myself. I was trying to figure that out. So there was a lot of me. There was a lot of complexity in my healing because, which I think every person has. But what I mean is, there's a lot of internal fighting with myself. And that's where my shadow work came in and really kind of helped me figure that out along the way. But as hard as it can be, and as hard as it is to trust somebody when you can barely trust yourself, you have to fight these demons. Okay? If you really, truly want to heal and you don't want to be the person that's been sent here so other people can see how much they've evolved, while you just piddle your way through life, angry at the world, you have to stop and take accountability. You have to stop and see yourself, and you have to stop and find a way to allow this healing. When the anger comes up, instead of wanting to punch somebody or you punch a hole in the wall or throw something or whatever, lean in towards that person that cares about you. Lean in towards that person that loves you and tell them, look, I really need to talk this through. And, ask them to do it without judgment, but don't project onto them, okay? If you are asking someone to be there to listen to you, to help you, guide you through this, you need to accept their guidance. You need to accept what they might be trying to tell you. Now, if they're trying to fix you, that's not going to work. Only you can fix you. But if they're trying to give you helpful tips, if they're trying to say, hey, maybe this will work, or why don't we try this, or why don't we sit here and talk through it? Why don't you tell me what's happening? When you start to open up, it's going to start coming out and you're going to start healing. One of the reasons I think people struggle with healing, and this is, again, just my opinion, one of the reasons I think people struggle with healing, and this is what I struggled with, is that once you start that healing, it's like a river until, you're through it. Until you see the light again. And healing can come in stages because, not everybody can handle it all at once, right? Healing can come in stages. But once we let this out, it's like, like I said, it's like a waterfall. It's like a river. It's going to just keep flowing. And you have to decide, whether you want to or not. Because like I said, healing is messy, healing is painful, and not everybody wants to face what they have to heal. A friend of mine posted something last week and I can't remember the exact saying, but it was basically saying how sometimes the healing is harder than the trauma. So that's just something to think about. Okay. Again, these are just my thoughts. These are my own opinions. If you agree with them or not, no judgment. If you choose to heal or not, no judgment. Excuse me one moment. But only you can make that choice. And personally, I believe that everyone deserves the power of healing. I believe everybody deserves to live this beautiful life, no matter what life has thrown at you. Because, like I said, do you want to be the person that evolves, or do you want to be the person that stays stuck and shows everyone that they've evolved? Where they've come from, what they moved on from. So everybody deserves love, and everybody deserves to be loved. You just have to make that choice if that's something you want. All right. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I know that might have been a little deeper than expected, but I just want you to know that I see you and you've got this. Have a great day.